Well, I heard something thud a window, and I went, and there was a hawk lying on the ground on the patio. And I like kind of bent down, and I had my camera out, and I was about to take a picture, and flew off. So I took a picture, like right as it was flying off. And then I heard another thud. And so I went outside, and it was hitting a cover over the patio. And I was like, it's time. You've talked about the hawks and ancient Greece, and like, it's time for you to go back to the language and literature graduate degree attempts and do an animal tie-in. So it left a feather behind. So this is the hawk of a young Cooper's hawk, the feather of a young Cooper's hawk. And I found it on the ground about 2:57 p.m. So this is fresh off the press after that. And so I'm Tanis Hers of Seattle, and it is Wednesday, 29 July 2026. And my animal tie-in for language and literature is going to be, I guess, a bit of a reflection and tying it into attempting graduate school in language and literature. Growing up, I watched Sagwa, the Chinese Siamese Cat solo, which was a cartoon TV show about a cat and a Siamese cat and her adventures. And it was a lot about culture. And I think there was actually a lesson where she wrote with her tail or something. And so it was actually one that like piqued my interest in language and literature, because I was like, in different cultures, you know, like in some Western, like as in European countries, they might have used quills to write. Like, so to some, they might be like, oh, that hawk is the perfect feather, the perfect writing utensil. Look how it's a you know, it's not a baby, but it's like, it's a young hawk. It's got the fluffy, and some Kona hair. There's Kona hair everywhere around the deck, included, and but like it was a lot of like attention taken to how the language was written down, and for this Sagwa, the Chinese Siamese cat. And so it was actually one, and I watched it solo, and we had, you know, growing up, there was a mama cat, and then she got pregnant and gave birth to like 5 cats, and we kept 2 of the cats that were born. So we had, you know, a number of cats growing up, so I'm familiar with cats. And for whatever reason, I was the only person who liked it, and it was very enjoyable. But it got me thinking about kind of let's say I were to attempt a graduate school in Greece, and the hawks are like, we want to go. Maybe you should have a pet cat over there. I was like, oh, there we go. Like, do I spend enough time in Greece that I could have a pet cat? Like, what are house rules in general that might apply to having a cat? Like, if I had a live-in reader, would they be up for, like, you know, I had enough money, had live-in reader as a cat. Are they allergic? You know, that kind of thing. But like, house rules would be like, no taking the cat and locking it in the bathroom with one. No cat stealing, because, and then like locking him in the bathroom and taking the pants down. No walking around, you know, no pulling your jeans out, no pulling my jeans out or whatever and putting them down and like looking at them in front of the cat being like, this is my pant size. No, don't body shame the cat. No putting the jeans on and that's the only clothing on, you know, and walking around to be like, you know, especially me and my mama Gillespie, we both had any nipples. You know, a cat might be offended by that. Okay. So like stuff like that, where it's like, don't make the cat feel insecure. Okay, so kind of treat it like a person would be my approach there. Would it be an inquisitive literature cat? That would be very cool, like Sagwa. It'd be very cool if it's something like that. It was like, maybe like, do I get in as a senior? Does a cat have to be senior for it to enjoy language and literature? I don't know, but open there. It'd be cool to have a female senior cat. Siamese, I'm open to Siamese. They got shorter hair, and I got shorter hair, but it doesn't necessarily. Maybe the gods go, it is fixed, and the hawk goes, it is fixed, and I'm like, I don't know, but the hawk's like, oh, maybe I gotta like it. You know, maybe that's what I was trying to say. So now I got the mystery of the hawk. The hawk goes the video. So here's the video.